This week we are going cover to cover on Guess Again by Charlie Donnelly. I'm Sarah Lyles.
And I'm Jamie Livingston, and we are so approachable. This book had a lot of twists and turns.
And a lot of people.
So many characters. So many.
Yes, you laughed. So for those that always talk about our notes, so we keep Google Docs that you and I can both see. And while I was reading this book, I knew it was going to be a lot of characters based on our reviews. And so I was like keeping tabs of all the people all the time. And so there's some people in here that like mean nothing, but it's a lot.
But they came up, so you wrote about them, which was funny because you finished this book way before me. And so I was trying not to look at your notes to like spoil anything. But afterward, I was looking and I was like, who is that? Like, that was such an obscure character. Why did she write that down? But I understand that it was like Detective Cap trying to keep everything straight. But golly. All right. What are your 3 words for this book?
Oh, twisty, turny, and suspenseful.
All right. I've got twisty on my list too. I've got twisty, fragmented, and compelling.
Oh, good. I can see all those.
Yeah. I will say several of our reviews, our poor reviews, had talked about how this was like a DNF. I got 80% of the way through and couldn't stand it. It was so unbelievable. I didn't feel that way.
It was a lot. And really, those that stopped at 80%, you missed some really fun twists.
Right. A lot of the good juicy stuff. Gotta like stick with this one to the end. My first question for you is, did you figure this one out at all?
Oh, not even close. And when I thought I had it, or when I thought the book had revealed what it was, I was wrong. And I kept being wrong. And I so was like, I couldn't believe it. Up until like the second to last page, there was another twist too that was like, what? No wonder it's called Guess Again, because it's like, guess again.
Right. You thought you had it, but nope. I will
No.
say that I felt like I had something figured out. So did I by any means solve this whole thing? Absolutely not. But I knew from page 102 that Lindsay was in on it.
I am so proud of you. You had your detective cat on.
I just like, there was something about it that was chapter 26. I don't know how many chapters because this is like a James Patterson where there's just a jillion. But I specifically went back and was like, this feels strange. And so I'm going to read to you from page 102. This is, well, let's look at the whole list of names. The Coach Blake. Blake and our missing girl is, what is her name? Callie. Yes.
Callie Jones?
Yes. So many names. All right. So this is their conversation. And he says, we have to keep things quiet. Really, really quiet. Got it? Callie looked at him through the darkness. Yeah, I get it. You haven't told any of your friends, have you? About us? God, no. They'd freak out. And for sure, none of them would stay quiet about it. Not even Lindsay, right? Why are you asking about Lindsay? Because you guys are best friends. I haven't told her a thing and don't plan to. Blake nodded. And at that moment, I was like, yeah, that was strange that he singled out a friend and was like, and so at that point, I wondered if he was involved with her as well. Like there was something that like, there was secrets. So I was like, is he sleeping with both of them? Okay. Did you realize that the first chapter wasn't Callie until the very, very end?
No. And really, I was really surprised at that. I really tried not, I wanted to just jump in this and like, let me just enjoy this book. Let me try to not divulge too much. But I had no idea until the very end when they're like finding out, detective figuring it out. I can't remember the name, the guy, the really smart guy that he met in the ER when he was like going back into detective mode.
Christian
See, I've got them all
Malone.
labeled.
Christian Malone.
Yes, he when he was uncovering everything and pulling it was her, I was like, What? Wow. And really, I was surprised, even in like going back, because we talk about like spice ratings, like this was a 0 spice rating. And within the first page, it is a spicy scene. And I was like, whoa, what is this?
What are
This is
we getting
intense.
into? Yeah.
I mean, at that first page, I didn't like that whole scene. I don't like the whole coach and volleyball star, that whole thing. I didn't like that. Um, but for the thriller aspect, it all made sense when you get to the end.
Yes. I mean, that was icky and like left you feeling icky. And especially when you realize that he slept with two of his students. Like, it was just like, come on, Blake, let's figure this out. But Lindsay was suspicious to me because of the fact that she was a tech guru as well. Like,
Hmm.
and she was doing something that was supposed to be anonymous. And so I figured that was going to factor in somewhere. I actually was questioning if Lindsay was the Eugenia character or like her double,
Oh, yeah.
the
Hmm. Yeah,
Harriet character.
Eugenia was like she was very suspicious. I was like, there's something about her that I don't like. She's got to be way into this. And she was. She had a lot that she did, but
Well,
I
I
was
thought
thinking,
that Lindsay like made her own company and like then had court ordered therapy. And so she did it anonymously. I thought that she was going to be the second person who was taking over Eugenia. Like, I realized, like, I think they flashed to that really fast where we learned about Eugenia and how she was obsessed with Ethan. No, not Ethan, with
Francis.
Francis. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I'm very grateful for your list right now. But Eugenia was obsessed with this serial killer. Um,
Hmm.
but then somebody comes and knocks on the door, and it's somebody who looks just like her. And so clearly there's a second person who is now impersonating Eugenia. And I was thinking that that might be Lindsay. And so I was just
Yeah.
like, there was something there, like, there's got to be something. So the fact that she was actually counseling Francis and like kind of manipulating him from in prison, all to get like, I mean, it felt like it was going to be a win win for everybody. But then the fact that he comes back and like kills her too. Woo!
I mean, honestly, the way that Charlie Donlea weaved all of these people and all of these stories together, I was mind blown. I was like, how is he going to take Ethan Hall, who's a former detective, now ER doctor, right? Whose his father was killed by Francis Bernard and his girlfriend Maddie. Then that all intertwined because I was like, oh, Maddie was like one of the people who got away from Francis. Like the whole thing, I just kept being like, no way. Like what? I kept page turner, total page turner.
Well, and I think that's where our reviews were like, it's so unrealistic. Did you think that it was unrealistic or did you buy it every time there was a twist?
Oh, I did not buy it at all, but I did enjoy the ride. I mean, because we were reading those, I was like, okay, I am going to go into this just for the thriller aspect. I'm going to go the likelihood of him going from a like detective to a doctor. That's a lot of school. That's not very likely. So I'm just going to go into this book with all of that because I've done that before. I've gone, what was the book that we read? That I was like, this cannot, where they had the brain and the brain
Yes,
surgery and they
yes,
left. Yes.
yes.
Yes. That,
I'm picturing it. Yep, I can see
yep.
it.
Hmm.
Something with a brain. It's a
Yep.
question. Oh my goodness.
I
Insert.
know. I can't even think. But this is why we talk about these because we literally have book amnesia.
Not quite
So,
dead yet.
yes, that book. So, if you haven't read that book, I went into that book automatically feeling like I can't believe this. I can't, and it ruined the book for me. I feel like that, like obsession with that ruined the book. And so I was like, I'm not going to do that this time. I'm not going to do that because this is a fiction book. I'm just going to go for along the ride. And that helped me a lot.
I don't think though. I mean, I went in trying to solve this. I had said I was gonna like put my detective hat on and try to figure this out because stressful, suspenseful things terrify me. And so I need to like approach it logically and try to figure it out. But I never had a moment where I was like, no, this is so unbelievable. I can't read it. Or like, I never had that. Do I think that it was realistic? No. But like, I still don't understand why like 5 extra people had to die in this book. Like, the grandma and grandpa out at the lake, like, did they actually have to die? There was no reason. Like, I feel like that was a gratuitous murder, but just so that she could go and stay at that cabin for a night when she needed a place, like, it was just very random. But
Yeah.
I never once was like, I don't want to finish this book. It was a page turner, and I wanted to know what on earth was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I've never read any of his books,
Yeah.
but reading this makes me want to read another one of his because it is very much so, like you said, James Patterson, short chapters, which I enjoy. Short chapters because you can just flip through, like, oh, just only 2 more pages. Let me just get through them. And I kept wanting to know what was happening next because there were so many timelines that were weaving together.
Did you read or listen?
Both. So at the beginning of this, I read and listened at the same time. Then I read about 50% of it without listening, and then I went back to reading and listening. I had a lot. It's summertime. My kids are home, so I need to like really focus. It's hard to focus when your kids are all around.
Yeah, I mean, I have the physical copy, and I wasn't reading. Like, I just didn't have time starting a new job, moving, all of the things. And so I had to finally find the audiobook to listen to it. But I found that the chapters were so short, and it was like a different perspective every time. So I was like, I need to focus. Who's talking now? What time period are we in? Because it's jumped from present to past. And I was worried that they were going to pull some like timeline witchcraft on me. And it was like, oh, well, this was actually from 2027 and it's in the future. And I was like, I don't know. So I was trying to listen closely to see if I was missing something regarding the date even, but that's hard when you're listening. I feel like that's a
Right.
lot easier when
Yes.
I'm looking at the page and I'm like, okay, here's where I'm at. Here's who's talking. Did you like all of the perspectives here?
It was a lot. Again, I don't do well with a lot of characters, and that's why I have a list. Like people, if you don't understand, it's more than half a page of lists of people that are on this, and so I really had to focus to figure out who they were. I feel like once I was able to understand who the main people were, which was about 25% in, I then was like, okay, I can understand whose perspective. But until then, I really had to physically see the copy.
You have 15 characters written down on here. Like, that's so many characters.
So many. And actually, there's a point when I stopped putting them. I know there's more that I didn't put down. And so that's just a lot.
Do you have a favorite character?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I thought like Special Agent Peter Kramer, he was funny, and his whole story, it was sad. He was dying and he was trying to solve this whole I mean, because it was what the Lake Michigan killer was
Yeah.
who Francis Bernard was. And
Mm-hmm.
so he was still like, I'm trying to figure this out. And now there's the new, what was he, the governor or,
Yeah, Governor.
yeah. So he was the governor and it ended up being his daughter, Callie Jones, who was sleeping with the volleyball coach. And it was like, but I thought he was funny. I kind of liked his like personality. Of course, then I liked Ethan. I thought I liked Ethan as a character. I thought he was smart. But I think Ethan, if I have to say like a main character that I really liked, I would say Ethan. What about you?
Yeah, I would say I liked Ethan. I actually really liked the tech guy, Christian. Christian seemed funny and like down to earth for being a silicon giant. And the fact that he's like playing pickleball and trying to use some medical excuses to get people to take it easy on him. Like, I thought he was funny, and I was curious as to how that was going to play in because that's where we first meet Ethan. And so I was like, I don't
Hmm.
know if he's going to have a case that he wants investigated or if he's going to be the tech guy that comes in to save the day. So it was the latter, clearly. I also really enjoyed Francis. I mean, as
Hmm.
like the unhinged serial killer, and we're the fact
Yeah.
that he's able to like manipulate so many things from behind bars in solitary confinement, like that was confounding. And when it's like, well,
Yes.
just go to this warehouse and step on a ladder and then do this and go to this little library. I loved the mention of the little libraries because Ethan was like, a what? What are you talking about? It's like, I have the app on my phone and I visit so many free little libraries. If you're listening or watching this podcast and you found a bookmark in a free little library, can you like heart this, leave a comment? Because I've left bookmarks in so many of those. And that's where
Oh,
I pick
same.
up so many fun books. Like, it's like a passion. If I see one, I stop.
I know I have a neighbor. I mean, he's kind of like around the corner and his little library. I'm always like, because he's just the nicest guy. It's always sitting in the porch. I was like, if you have this book come in, can you please put it aside for me? And he's like, yes, Sarah, I will.
Those are the connections
But
you
it's
got to
great.
make. Yeah.
Books are expensive. They're very expensive. So there was a lot of characters. And so what I do appreciate, there were a lot of characters, but every single character did play a part in all of this like weaving together of how it unfolded, whether it was from past or present or, future, it all was like bit together. So,
It
did you
did.
suspect Maddie with the whole Maddie thing?
Um, Maddie is like his
The
girlfriend right now, right?
girlfriend? Yeah,
I
so
did
his
not,
girlfriend.
I did
So
not suspect
Maddie,
him.
remember
Her.
Maddie had was taken and got away from Francis, and she had the tattoo or whatever of the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so she also was the one that was the sole survivor, and she was still receiving those letters. That's where I was like, where are those letters coming from? Who is sending those? Of course, I went, okay, it's got to be Eugenia
Mm-hmm.
because she
Or
loved
somebody
Francis.
pretending to be Eugenia.
Well,
Ugh.
yes.
I wasn't suspicious of Maddie. There might have been like one scene, and I can't even remember what it would have been at this point, where I was kind of like, maybe I do need to, like, if I'm trying to cast a wider net of who my suspects could be, like, maybe she could be involved. But that was very momentary. I thought
Right.
maybe Callie's sister was in on it. Oh, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's a name that's
Mm-hmm.
on here. Uh,
See?
I thought maybe her sister was in on it. Like I wrote something down at like the 65% mark where I was like, I don't know. She's been covering for her sister multiple times and probably figured out something. And her sister was supposed to be like a big volleyball star too. And so if Callie was going to ruin things by sleeping with the coach and like I could see her being jealous and she knew that Callie had just come home to get a sweatshirt. Like the timing fit. So I'm kind of annoyed that the sister wasn't involved, but
Yeah.
I could see it. The other thing that stood out to me was at the first mention when they're interviewing Blake for the first time and he talks about his like fancy cigarettes. I was like, oh, those are going to come back to bite him at some
Mm-hmm.
point. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's, and so the fact that Lindsay planted them to
Mm-hmm.
like incriminate him, I was like, okay. So I thought that there was going to be a cigarette found at the scene of something or be traced back. But Blake wasn't a complete bad guy. He was definitely inappropriate, but
He was just a pervert.
yeah. I mean, it is one of it's hard. I mean, it's wrong. I will flat out say it was wrong
Yes.
for an
Yes.
adult to have relations with a teenager.
Yes. Yes.
Wait a
I
couple
mean,
of
and
years.
also, yes. And I mean, again, there was so much intertwined with Blake. Yes, he had the young girls, but then there was like his girlfriend Portia, who wasn't really his girlfriend at the time, but she went missing, and so that made him look bad. Sometimes I kept being like, he's got to be somehow involved in all of this
Well,
because
right.
there were
They were
so
like,
many points.
what are the odds that you've had two girls go missing? Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Doesn't look
Yeah.
good for him.
Right. But the whole thing, I just,
Did you
again, I
have
was,
any theories
oh,
that withstood a couple twists?
no. I mean, Francis, I knew had to do something. I knew Francis would figure out, well, because they kept talking about Francis in 8 years, he was gonna get out no matter what. And then when they talked about a transfer, I was like, that's gonna go bad. I already know the transfer's gonna go bad. There's gonna be something that happens at the transfer, and it did. And I
Which
was
was
like, okay,
100% unrealistic. You
yes,
taking somebody from
yes,
like a top security prison and you're going to stop for Hoochie Mama in her like short shorts? No, that's way, way against protocol. Not
yes,
happening. Daisy Dukes
correct,
are not a reason to stop and put, no, no. So
right,
that was unrealistic for sure, but not enough to make me stop reading.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I already expected something to happen. So it
Yeah.
was like, oh, all right, that's gonna happen. They're gonna, unrealistically stop. Okay. And so they did. And that was fine. I knew it was gonna happen. I just didn't know that all of the other mass would come out and that he would go get Maddie. And I just was floored. I was floored.
Oh, I definitely knew that if he was out, he was definitely going after Maddie. And the fact that we already knew that Harriet had been up to the lake and like
Hmm.
already planted some stuff. And I was like, oh no, this is going to be bad. Um, and the fact that he
But do you
left her to go
think,
and get stuff in town. And I was like,
why would
no,
he leave her? That's not realistic. She would have gone with him or he would have not left. Like there would never have been I'm gonna leave you. So yeah, no.
no.
Mm-mm. And then I can't remember who it was, but the person who left and like was like, hey, like, do you need me to stay? She wouldn't have said no. Like, the answer is
The
yes.
native guy, right?
Yes. Uh-huh. That guy.
I don't
Can't
think his
remember who
name
he
is
is.
on your paper, but
See,
yes.
I told you there's people I didn't write. But there was a guy that I remember that,
Yeah.
yes, he was like, do you need me to say? And she's like, no. And
But he came
yeah.
back and helped, and that was a moment where like he like put his hand on her, and I was like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he was a good guy and not a bad guy. But oh yes, I was stressed. I think was there like a surprise that surprised you the most?
Yes. The very end, Ethan's dad, the photo. That
Yes.
surprised me the most. Like Ethan's dad is a part of all of this, and then to find out like why he got killed. Like I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because the whole time I was thinking that he killed him and burned the house simply because he was getting caught and he didn't. He was like, let me just kill the guy. No, it wasn't that at all. That I think was the biggest surprise to me.
Yeah. The fact that Ethan's dad was involved in that serial killing, that was my mind blowing moment and was like, oh crap. Like, this is,
Yes.
oh. How do you deal with that if you're Ethan? Like, how do you come to grips with that?
I know, and it didn't give us full disclosure on how that handled. He just knew that information and life moves on. I'm like, what? How does he deal with that?
Well, right. Like, is that something that you then have to bring to light and tell the world that, I mean, because they still have to try to catch Francis, right? I mean, Francis wasn't caught at the end, was he?
Mm-mm. So, I mean, my whole thing, it's like, so he's on the run and Maddie doesn't feel safe. what does that look like? And now you know that your dad was a part of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I had so many like I was like, wait, there's not another page. There's not another. Yeah.
Yes, that was a real big switcheroo at the end.
Yes, so much. So I enjoyed that, but it was very unexpected.
Did you have any theories about what happened to Callie? Like the original disappearance?
Yes. So I thought when he was kind of unclosing that she was pregnant, I thought that maybe Blake killed her to like dispose of the baby and her. That was like my ultimate theory. Like just thinking like, oh, he probably killed her. He was texting with her, told her let's meet here and why they met, and he killed her. That was my theory.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty acceptable or maybe realistic theory. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that is definitely the easiest solution. I don't know. There was part of me that was like, maybe she's alive. Maybe she wanted to disappear and fake her own death, and maybe she is going to be alive, and that's going to be a really big switcheroo.
Well, when Francis had said that he knew where she was, that moment I thought, oh, maybe she is alive. I just had like a quick moment of maybe she's alive. And then he said her later on saying, like, I know
Body.
where she's buried. Uh-huh.
So
So,
we learned that Lindsay is the one who actually killed her. And did you did that make any sense? Because she was planting, like she took the cigarettes from Blake's house and put a golf club in the closet. Did you pick up on that or like question
mm-mm,
why she was leaving a golf club there?
no,
All right.
I
At that
didn't.
moment, I was like, why is she putting a golf club in this closet? And I was thinking that it was going to be like a tool for her to use as self defense or something if something went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But then we find out that she was planting the freaking murder weapon at Blake's house. And just to like underscore how batty this lady was, she cracked her best friend's skull 3 times and then
Ooh.
disposed of the body. And like, what did she do? She put it in a tank, like a drum or something, and like
Yes.
sank it
Mm-hmm.
in the swamp. Like,
Ugh.
no wonder she went into psychology and like she talked about how like she needed counseling to like help other people going through trauma. And it was like, no, it was to help you because you're a psychopath. Like you needed
Yes.
all the counseling and therapy you could possibly get. And here you are trying to help other people. Like,
Oh,
wow. Wow.
yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot. She was a lot. And even her, like, how I felt like for a moment, like the realistic, like how realistic is that she gets on a boat, goes home, gets the sweatshirt, and then
Mhm.
goes here and Lindsay beats her by just driving like a four-wheeler there. Like, I don't know. Like, what's the realistic timeline on that? Because she's texting. Remember, she stole the cell phone, was texting from the cell phone or
Mhm.
the burner phone. And I'm like, well, okay, just gonna roll with it.
Well, and the fact that she held on to that burner phone for all those years and
Why? And then, yeah. And then, Ethan finds it in a warehouse and from Francis telling him where it is.
right. And that's all the information that Lindsay had given to Francis in their counseling sessions as they're like devising
Hmm.
this plan. Who's so twisted. So I think it's hilarious that we both have twisty as one of our words for this book.
Because it is. It was like, as soon as I thought, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. No, the
Guessed
story
again.
changes. And not only does it change because the timeline shifts, something happened in the past, which now affects what's happening in the present. And so it's like, whoa, that's what I was like, twisty and turny and back. And because it was, I constantly was guessing again. Like, I thought I got it. No, up until the very last page, I didn't have it.
Do you think that the title itself fit the book?
Um, from the reader's perspective, yes, but from the storyline perspective, no. Like,
Yes.
it doesn't really have anything to do with the story.
No, that's why I was so confused because, like, there's nothing in there that's asking you to guess. There's nothing, like, there's nothing on trial. Like, there's not anything that actually relates to that other than, like, your personal expression while reading. Like,
Yeah,
it doesn't tie into the book itself, just our own
right.
reactions.
Correct. And maybe that's why he named it such, but yeah,
Can you
I don't
think
know.
of
It
something
was
that would
fine.
have been a better title?
Oh gosh. This is why I don't want to ever write books because I'd have to think about titles.
Uh,
uh I don't even know.
I don't know either. I feel like this is a great question, though. So if you're listening, leave us a comment. Let's come up with maybe a better, not that it's a bad title, but just one that actually fits the the content of this book. I feel like there's got to be something.
Something. I don't know. But it was good. I liked it. From like I said, it was a very much reader's perspective, constantly guessing. Okay, got that.
I feel
Okay.
like cases like this where it's been 10 years, we're talking about people's memories and trying to reinvestigate, and the fact that Ethan goes and finds the lady from Planned Parenthood and she has such a vivid
Oh,
memory of this person. Like, what are the odds of that?
none. None to zero. Like really none. Like that because I was like reading that going, she's not going to remember her. There's nothing about her like and then she's like, "Oh, that's the girl. That's the girl." I'm thinking, "No way. No way." So I can see like points now that we're kind of talking about it that they're unrealistic, but no part in that when I was reading or listening did I really I didn't hone in on that.
Yeah, I didn't feel like that was truly realistic, but I mean, it was cute. I'm sure there had to be other people in that nurse's journey that had changed their mind along the way, but maybe not. I don't know the inner workings of a Planned Parenthood. But I did like the message there that she had decided that she wanted to keep the baby and was willing to like go through the hardship and possibly the scorn and consternation of parents and family and the public because she's having a baby with this adult. Um, but I mean, that's a hard decision and hard conversation to have. It's crazier to me that Lindsay killed her knowing that she was pregnant, right? She knew that from the text messages. I'm going to keep
Yep.
it. Like,
Yep. Yeah.
ooh.
That also just says a lot about Lindsay in her psychological state. And so,
Well, and the fact that she was like plotting this revenge against Blake and like she's held this grudge for 10 years, but like wants to go have like revenge sex with him and like get what she wants out of the situation and prove that he doesn't have power over her. And it was just like this super bizarro situation. I was like, you are messed up, honey. Very messed up.
yeah, I agree. She was messed up. And again, as you find out, she then talks to herself, admitting to doing this. And only because of Christian Malone are they able to discover, like, oh no, she's telling herself that she
That
did
was
that.
messed up.
Yes. Yes. But
Did you think that he was going to uncover that it was her? Who did you think
I
was
didn't think
actually
it
the one
was
doing
going to
it?
be her. I had no idea. And I tried to like think about like who could that be? Like could I thought for a little bit maybe it was Blake and maybe it was like I mean, I had so many thoughts in there. I was like there's no way. It's not her, but it was talking
Talking
to
to
herself.
herself. So weird. So weird. Okay. Do you have any other questions that you want to ask, or do you want to jump into the book cover?
Let's jump into the book cover.
Okay.
That also was like a big one. Do you have the actual physical book?
I do. I do. Let's see if I can show you
Yes.
here.
Same. I have it
Okay.
too. Um, I'm confused and conflicted on this
Okay.
book cover. I mean, I see what it is. It's like the lake, it's the like underwater, but I'm confused. I'm like, did people drown? Are people dead drowning? Like that's
Right.
how I would look at that. Like, so for me, I look at that and I'm like, it doesn't make sense. Did you see something different I didn't see?
No, I think it's just the fact that she disappeared on the water. So nobody knows if she fell overboard or like I'm assuming they dredged the lake and didn't like find her, but that was my assumption. I mean, it's a cold case. She went missing from a boat. I will say, I think I texted you from the grocery store where I saw this book on a shelf and it was like the
Hmm.
prettiest book cover I've ever seen because this one isn't, but it was another version of this. I think it was the paperback, but it was like sparkly. It was so shimmery and shiny and beautiful. And I was like, shoot, I would pick up this book. It's mesmerizing because all of these bubbles were sparkles and it was like 3D and snazzy. So I would 100% pick it up based off of the looks. And the guess again makes you like you're into thriller land. Does it have a ton to do with the book itself? Does the title have anything to do with the book itself? No.
No, but it's appealing and it's simple. It is simple. It's a simple but yet like classy in a thriller way, right?
Yeah, I like the font. I like how big the title is and his name. I mean, I guess he's kind of a big deal, so we can let him have a big font.
Yeah, yeah. But I can see that. Okay. But I was like, doesn't again, like we have to think far-fetched. Gus again does not necessarily have to do with the book, but as a reader, I get it. And same with like the book cover. It's all right. She was on water and then gone.
Mm-hmm. So I like it. I would pick it up based off of this book cover.
Well, and that's fun. I love that you saw it with glitter all over it.
I
I didn't
know.
see that one.
I'm gonna post it on Instagram because it was so pretty.
All right. So you want to go first? You want me to go first for your review?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. So I was so happy to get back into Thriller Land. I mean, we were all over the place before, like way far fetched and so different in a good way, but book wise, I always want to get into a good thriller. And this one did not disappoint to me. I felt like it had everything, sometimes too much, but it had everything that I love in a thriller to the twist and the turns and the unexpectedness. Yes, there were parts of it that I was like, that is not believable, but it didn't take it away from the actual excitement and the pacing and even like the page turning. I enjoyed that. So for me, this book was really good. Again, I think if I wouldn't have written down the characters, I probably would have been lost. And that's a me thing. I know how I am. I know how I get lost in the characters. So that was totally a me thing. But as far as this book goes, I really did enjoy it. And I mean, gosh, it's hard for me. I keep going back and forth. Like it wasn't a 5 star. It didn't meet every expectation, but just a smidge above 4, like a 4.2. It was so good. I did already recommend it to someone who already read it. Because I said it's hard to find a good thriller that is page turning and it will keep you like guessing up until the very end. And so for that, a 4.2.
Wow. Okay. I'm impressed. I don't think mine is as high as that. Um, I enjoyed it. And like I said, there wasn't a spot where I related with our bad reviews because our bad reviews were just like too unrealistic. I don't even want to know. And I was like, no, I wanted to know. I knew some of it was far fetched, but I still was like craving the next chapter. I did get bogged down might be the not right term, but like I was confused by the short chapters and trying to keep straight of who was talking. And the fact that there were just so many stinking characters. So many characters and people pretending to be other people. And I was like, wait, which missing person is this? Like, is this Portia? Is this Callie? Is this Eugenia? Like, is Eugenia actually Portia? Like, I was like trying to do all of the things and had my murder board up just like Eugenia on my basement wall trying to figure this all out. But I did like the fact that it included an actual serial killer. And I mean, alleged, he would let you know, Francis, that I was never convicted of the Lake Michigan killings. But the like twist after twist after twist, I'm here for. That was amazing. I will say I had a nightmare like a couple nights ago, and I think that it was like spawned by this book. And I'm so mad. And so that's bringing my rating down because I'm blaming this book. It was
that's hilarious.
terrifying, but it was like,
Did you have a tattoo heart, like a black heart tattooed?
No, I think it was more along the lines of this Harriet chick just going and killing people at random, like walking up to the neighbors and slicing their throats. Like, that was kind of the vibe of this dream. Not going to go there, but I'm angry. Like, that's what was in my head. And so, but the fact that it kept you guessing literally until the very end. And I mean, even just like we said, that last twist was mind blowing and just kind of like put the last nail in the coffin and was like, good job, Charlie. Like, good job. You got me. I did not see that one coming. So while I was able to kind of figure out a couple of the twists, or at least accomplice to the twist along the way, I think I'm going with like a 3.8.
Yeah.
I think that's safe for me. It was good and it was twisty. And for my thriller lovers, I would definitely recommend it. But I don't think it's for everyone because it was actually quite brutal. There were a lot of deaths in this book.
Yeah, there were, and there's a lot. I love that you said he was never convicted, but people stopped dying when he went into jail. So I'm just saying,
and started up again the second he got out.
Oh, the minute he didn't care about anything else, just going straight to find Maddie. So. But yeah, I think for thrillers, I like Charlie Donlea. I will probably pick up another one of his books. I liked it. I like those short chapters, and that not everybody is like that. But I think that part of it could be listening to those short chapters. That does complicate a lot.
It does.
It does.
And I typically am a big fan of those short chapters because you can just read a page and then go to bed. You can read 3 pages and go to bed. But I haven't been in the headspace to have a lot of physical reading time. And so, and I'm back in the news business where things are very gloomy and depressing. And so going into thriller land, I was like, okay, I just got home from work talking about murder and now I'm reading more murder and people are being killed left and right. So it was a lot over the last couple of weeks. So maybe our next book needs to be like light and fluffy.
All right. Well, next one's your pick. So let's see what you're going to get there.
Okay. Well, you're going to have to tune back in next week, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be light and fluffy.
All right. We'll go there. All right. But until then, keep reading.
Keep ranting.
And remember, you're so approachable.
Okay, the episode is over. If you enjoyed it, could you give us a thumbs up or leave a review?
It goes a long way toward helping us grow and meet new people like you.
Subscribe to get notified when the next episode drops.
You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook to see what we're reading next, recommend new books, and join the conversation.
We're so excited to have you on board.